Here's more wrestling news for July 1st, 2022, and we're kicking off this afternoon with Monday Night Raw, as the Red brand has often struggled to sell tickets, but that doesn't appear to be the case right now. Recently, WWE began advertising Brock Lesnar for the July 11th edition of Raw, which will air from Shawn Michaels' hometown of San Antonio, Texas. There's no word on what Brock will do on the show, but his presence on the show is moving some serious tickets. WrestleTix also reports that 6,398 seats have been sold and/or distributed for the show so far, with just 823 tickets left for the show. Brock may not be the only big name for the show, as many expect John Cena to make regular appearances on the road to a rumored match at SummerSlam, and whatever happens, the July 11th event will be a packed crowd. While WWE may be having no problem getting butts in seats for the July 11th Raw, AEW is completely struggling in a market that has usually been good to them. Last September, the Blue Cross Arena saw AEW draw about 7,000 fans, with most tickets selling months in advance, but that isn't the case this time around. Next week's tapings of Dynamite and Rampage will air from the very same arena in Rochester, New York, but tickets are moving nowhere near as quickly as before. According to WrestleTix on Patreon, over 2,500 tickets are still available for the taping, which is now just days away. Following this week's Blood and Guts special, you'd think there'd be a high demand for AEW programming right now, but it seems the Rochester, New York area isn't as sold on their shows right now. More from AEW now, as Hikaru Shida was pulled from the AEW Owen Hart Foundation tournament in May, but this wasn't due to an injury. Instead, Shida was pulled because she was competing in Japan and there was no way she could have made it in time for the tournament, but her return is indeed coming. According to F4W Online, next week's episode of AEW Dark Elevation, taped prior to Blood and Guts, saw Hikaru Shida return to in-ring competition. Shida returned in a tag team match where she and Yuka Sakazaki got the win over Heather Reckless and Lanie Luck. A former AEW Women's World Champion, it's just a matter of time before Shida is back on Dynamite and Rampage, and we'll have to wait and see what she does next. For many fans, there's no greater commentator than Jim Ross, who called the action for decades in WWE. Ross joined AEW in 2019 and has also been part of some of the biggest moments the company has had, but some fans are ready for good old JR to move on. JR has frequently had trouble with calling wrestlers by their WWE-appointed names, such as calling Bryan Danielson Daniel Bryan, and this week has proven to be no exception. During the latest Dynamite, JR called Claudio Castagnoli Cesaro, his WWE moniker, and made this error multiple times. Some fans have even called on AEW to fire JR for these errors, or for Ross to choose to retire from calling the action. AEW is unlikely to fire the legendary commentator, but if these errors keep increasing in number, JR may have to really think about his future behind the commentary table. Back to WWE now, as Bianca Belair is riding high as the Raw Women's Champion after capturing the title at WrestleMania 38. Tomorrow night, Belair will defend her title against Carmella, but the EST of WWE already has her eye on a much different opponent. Sitting down with the Sports Illustrated Laces Up podcast, Belair spoke about being a competitor and said she would love the opportunity to face SmackDown Women's Champion Ronda Rousey. Belair did make reference to Survivor Series, where Raw and SmackDown superstars face off, and said that she's looking forward to facing Rousey this November. Of course, that all hinges on both women remaining champion for over 4 months from now, and while both women have title matches at tomorrow's Money in the Bank and will soon have to deal with a Miss Money in the Bank, Rousey Belair could be on the card for later this year. This week, WWE signed Logan Paul to a multi-year contract with the company, but he's not the only big name being added to the roster. Valerie Loureda recently retired from Bellator MMA, fueling speculation of her joining WWE, and now the former fighter has made things official. While on Busted Open Radio, Valerie revealed that she will be making her debut at the Performance Center on July 19th, which will also mark her 24th birthday. The former fighter is taking things seriously, as she also said that she is moving to Orlando so she can be close to the Performance Center where she'll be training. Fans may remember Loreda's name as she attended WrestleMania 38 in April this year and told Busted Open Radio that she has always wanted to be a wrestler. With her signing, Valerie is the first Cuban-American woman to sign with WWE, and with an impressive 4-1 MMA record, don't be too surprised to see the ex-fighter dominate when she makes her WWE debut. Over to NXT 2.0 now, as the brand is home to the next generation of WWE superstars who one day dream of headlining on the main roster. NXT has been home to some of WWE's biggest names, with Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Kevin Owens all being called up from the brand, and now another 2 names may soon be fast-tracked to Raw or SmackDown. On the latest Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer reported that WWE's higher-ups are extremely on board with Zion Quinn, and there have been discussions about bringing him to the main roster very soon. WWE reportedly see Quinn, an Australian former rugby player, as the total package, and are also reportedly high on fellow NXT 2.0 superstar Sanga. Like Quinn, Sanga is also being discussed as a potential main roster call-up very soon, but the praise for Zion Quinn has been exceptional. Of course, being fast-tracked to the main roster does not guarantee that either man will succeed on Raw or SmackDown, but the future does look bright for both men. Later today, Impact will host their Against All Odds show, which will see Moose and Sami Callihan settle their score in a Clockwork Orange House of Fun match. The match itself was first created by wrestling veteran Raven, who made a surprise cameo during this week's edition of Impact. In a video, Raven spoke about his creation, which he designed to be as barbaric, cruel, and inhumane as possible, which is his version of fun. Raven will also be around tonight to watch the match live, but he's not the only Impact alum to return recently. During a segment backstage, Rosemary summoned the sinister minister Father James Mitchell, who promised to let those closest to him know that Rosemary and Taya Valkyrie need assistance to deal with the trio of Giselle Shaw, Tennille Dashwood, and Madison Rayne. As for who will join Rosemary and Valkyrie, that's yet to be seen, but it was fun to see a couple of cameos from some names from Impact Wrestling's past. At the end of this month, Ric Flair will have his last ever match, bringing his legendary in-ring career to an end. Flair, alongside John Cena, has for years been praised as a 16-time world champion, with 8 reigns from the NWA, 6 from WCW, and 2 from WWE to his name. With that said, Flair is now arguing that this number is wrong and tweeted a video saying that he is a 17-time world champion. The video in question shows Flair beating Sting to unify the WCW World and International Championships at Clash of the Champions 27 in June 1994. The WCW International World Heavyweight Championship lasted less than a year and, at the time, represented the lineage of the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, despite WCW withdrawing from the NWA at the time. While the International World title lasted less than a year and was immediately retired after Flair's victory, Rick still sees it as a world title win, bringing his already impressive record to 17 titles. And we're ending today with the other 16-time world champion, John Cena, who recently returned to WWE to celebrate his 20th anniversary. Cena has worked with some of the biggest names, including Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker, Triple H, and Roman Reigns, but one name has an interesting story about Big Match John. Speaking on Busted Open Radio, Tommy Dreamer said he was blessed to work with Cena early in the latter's career, and recalled being asked by Cena about using his finisher when the latter was starting to get pushed. John, he came to me and said, "They suggested in the meeting to use your finish as my finish. I wanted to come to you. If you don't want me to do it, I won't do it." I was like, "I appreciate you so much for coming to me. I'm not winning with it, and obviously they want you to do it, so run with it." John Cena has gone on to become one of the biggest names in wrestling and has now become a leading man in Hollywood, but Tommy Dreamer will never forget how humble the legendary star was early into his career. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.